Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in 3 weeks, we're going McDonald's Cup Series racing. That's right. After a 3-week break, we're getting ready to put these cars back on the racetrack and get ready to go. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore because I'm a little rusty. Like I said, this 3-week break was definitely needed, especially after the 5 consecutive weeks of racing that we had back in the month of May. And then a little bit, I think, not even a little bit of June. But nonetheless, it was definitely a great month of May last month. But we're getting ready to close out June with at least one McDonald's Cup race. That's right. We're here at the Nashville Superspeedway for the first time ever in McDonald's Cup competition for the 13th race of the season, the Ally 400. And there was definitely... I don't even know what I'm saying anymore because I'm just really excited to get this race underway. I'm just also really excited to bring back the McDonald's Cup Series after a 3-week break. But these drivers have obviously have not really been on too much of a break since the series kind of went off on that break. Of course, these drivers were also all racing all over, whether it be Wawa Cup, JBL Cup, whatever series they might have been running. Off the not on the McDonald's Cup Series. Wow. Holy cow. My brain is just not working. But nonetheless, these drivers are ready to go. They're back in McDonald's Cup Series cars, and we're ready to race for 150 laps here at the Nashville Superspeedway. Let's go ahead and take a look at your point standings coming into this event. This is just from 3 weeks ago, back on May 31st, back at Pocono. As you see there, Edson Hernandez still retains the points lead over our now and currently only 2-time winner of the season, Tyler Belladonna, who has 293 points in his bank account, 10 back from Edson Hernandez. Remember, Tyler Belladonna ended up winning at Phoenix close to the beginning of the year, and then just 3 weeks ago at Pocono. So he basically dominated the entire race. But nonetheless, pretty much that second win of the year was sort of a given, but he is second in the standings. John Andrews, not too far back, 4 points back from Tyler Belladonna, but 14 back from our current points leader, Hernandez, 289 in his bank account. Then we have Val Mosco, 279. Alex Savatali completing the top 5 with 258 points to his name. 1 point back from him, that is Rogel Dorn with 257. VP Hanger, Daytona 500 winner, 255. Will Parrish, 254. And then you see Casey Wells, 252 after a great run at Pocono just a few weeks back. Stephen Colon, definitely very impressed with her performance just back at Pocono. And then Wyatt Walker showing up inside of the top 10 with 247 points to his credit. Take a look at the rest of your point standings coming into this event. Some drivers ended up getting some good runs. Of course, you see Chad Gronkowski. You see currently the highest winner not shown in the top 10, 13th in the standings. Looks like 233 points to his name. But the one that is definitely for sure looking to try to get some more good some good performances as we get ready to kind of get the season back rolling is Tatiana Nogueira. Nogueira is in a really good spot coming into today's race, starting on the pole. So hopefully this will help her get her second win, get their second win of the season, and progress up in the point standings. Because you see right there, 35th in the point standings with 166 points to Nogueira's name. So it's going to be interesting to see if she is able to get if they're able. Wow, I'm like I said, my brain's just not working. Brain is just not working. Brain.exe has completely stopped working. But nonetheless, Nogueira looking to try to get win number 2 and progress their way up the point standings. Some other drivers that are also very low in the point standings as well. Daniel Adams, who's had himself some really monster good performances over the course of over the course of this season, unfortunately was not able to get the results that could back up those good runs. So he currently is 149 points up, currently in the 38th position. Nathan Stapleton, 126. PJ Vidal, 110 after a dominating performance back at Darlington towards the beginning of May. Matt Jones is also down here with 137. There's a lot of drivers for sure that could potentially get some really good runs coming into this race. It's going to be very interesting because we are kind of in the midst of just past halfway in this season. And after today, there'll be 10 races to go in the McDonald's Cup Series. So there's not going to be a whole lot of time left over if you're going to try to get a good points finish to the season, or if you want to try to get yourself into championship contention. You're definitely going to have to start picking up your performances in order to showcase, in order to definitely for sure showcase what you can do, especially in the championship race at Homestead, or if you can try to have this comeback story of being deep in the point standings and just moving your way up. It's going to be interesting to see how these next 11 races are going to play out starting today here at Nashville. As you take a look at your qualifying results right here on your screen, you see Noguera starting on the pole, Skylar Taylor lining up alongside, and then we have John Felber, Michael Young, and Terry Walker completing the top 5. Walker's another driver who I feel could definitely get a good run here today. There we have Val Moscow starting in 6th, PJ Vidal 7th, Alex Rampus 8th, Jeremiah Simpson 9th, points leader Edson Hernandez completes the top 10. Then we see the rest of your results as far as your starting lineup, your starting grid. What is happening? Like I said, it's been a few weeks, so just bear with me. I'm trying the best that I can. Then we have Damian Kyle Woods, Sammy Cars, Derek Hamill, Mitchell O'Brien, Ryan Durrani, Michael DeFeo, Niall Steidel, BB Hange, Will Parrish, Zachary Fitzwater, Travis Crampton, Matthew Hubert, then Jones, Sustry, Stapleton, Belladonna, Bob Floyd, Stephen Colon, Wells starting deep in the field along with Colon, then Johnson, Murray, Palmer, Wyatt Walker, who is in the top 10 in the standings along with Rogel Dorn. Both of them starting in the back, so they're going to have their work cut out for them. So, and then we have Bryce Egan, John Andrews, who's 3rd in the standings. He's going to be back here. And then Gronkowski, Block, Crown, Savatali. And then Josh Lee, Daniel Adams round out the field in the caboose. Well, with my brain not working, this is definitely going to make for a very interesting broadcast. 150 laps around the Nashville Super Speedway. We're definitely looking forward to it nonetheless. So happy that you could be here with us here on this Saturday. And hopefully you guys are getting your weekends off to a really good start. For the first time in 3 weeks, of course, the McDonald's Cup Series returns to Twitch broadcasting. Of course, it's been a 3-week hiatus for the series, but I can definitely tell you these drivers have definitely still been racing in other series and trying to make sure that they're staying on top of their endurance, their stamina, and this is going to be very interesting. It'll be fun to watch. So happy that you could be with us. Drivers are strapped into their cars. Pre-race ceremonies are just now starting to wrap up, but in order to get these 42 behemoths on the track, we got to get the command to fire the engines. So let's go trackside and get the command.
Drivers, start your engines.
Engines are fired. Pace car rolls off, and so are these 42 drivers taking to the banks of Nashville Super Speedway, taking to the track of Nashville Super Speedway for the first time ever for the McDonald's Cup Series. Should be a fun one. 150 laps. I'm very sure that these drivers are definitely going to try to play it smart throughout a good portion of this race, but I also do expect the speeds to be pretty high, especially going through the corners. We're going to have to watch for that and what kind of troubles that those could potentially bring in the long run of this race. It's going to be fun. And we're really glad that you could join us here on this amazing Saturday. Pace car is going to drop off, and this will put the field in the hands of Tatiana Noguera and Skylar Taylor, who are both going to lead him down to the green flag to get this Ally 400 underway. Green flag. The McDonald's Cup Series is back. Amazing start for Tatiana Noguera. Already jumps out in the front. Already jumps out with the lead. Meanwhile, 3 wide. Trying to go 3 wide for that second position is Terry Walker, as he's glued to the back bumper of the 16 of Felber. They almost wrecked going through turn 1, but luckily they were able to keep their cars straight, not really collide into one another. And this is going to allow Skylar Taylor to break out with second. Michael Young is going to take third away from John Felber. And one car already in the wall. That's Dale Johnson. Must have went really wide through turns 3 and 4 and definitely got too close to the wall and scraped it pretty good. So he's going to fall back quite a ways, all the way back to dead last. Not the way you want to start off your race. Or not the way you want to start off your day here in Nashville. Another car in the wall already. That's Ryan Durrani. Durrani is now already up into the outside wall. Belladonna was also in the wall. He bounced off of Colin Block and right back into Salvatali. But amazingly, no caution. We stay green. Already 3 cars. We're already into the turns 3 and 4 walls. Sebastian Palmer, Avon Murray. Palmer already up into the outside wall. What in the world? That was just... I don't even know. That was really interesting. Luckily, all these drivers are still keeping it straight. With unfortunately, not really the case, though, for Sebastian Palmer. Palmer, unfortunately, just got the worst end of the stick back on lap number, I think it was 3. But just a few laps ago. So unfortunately, not a good start for either Dale Johnson nor even Alex Savatali or Colin Block. Not even Tyler Belladonna, who's currently our only 2-time winner here this season. That's just very unfortunate. Very unfortunate start for some of these guys, but as far as all these other drivers, they're still checking. They're checking out. They're all going single file. And oh my gosh, we almost had another crash. That was Chad Gronkowski and Rogel Dorn who got into one another. That probably was because of Bob Floyd, who was way up high through turn 4 and tried to get his car off the wall. Managed to do it, but almost at what cost? Going 4 wide through the corners with Stapleton and Wyatt Walker. At least for a split second from a certain camera angle, but thankfully that did not happen. We're still going green. We're still racing. Everybody just going really wide through the corners. But as of right now, the racing product, a little bit of a chaotic start, but everybody's sort of simmering it down and trying to get themselves into a pretty consistent green flag rhythm, because they know that this race is 150 laps. So we have a long way to go. So it's going to be interesting on how these drivers are going to manage their tires and how they're going to manage their fuel. But so far, taking it pretty aggressive right off the start, and we're already, of course, starting to see that if you get yourself into a 3-wide situation and if you try to get into the corner as hard as you possibly can, unfortunately, you're not going to be in the groove. You're going to be way up high, sort of where Michael DeFeo and even Nathan Stapleton are. Your car could potentially get tight and then just gravitate towards the wall. And That's what we've seen already. 4 cars just due right at the start of the race. So, of course, these drivers are taking it a little bit more easy. They're being as careful as they can. And so far, the racing product has gotten just a tad bit better. You see Stapleton in the middle of a 3-wide situation. That's Michael DeFeo up top, already right up against the wall. He definitely had to back out of that. He lost, looks like about 3, 4, maybe even 5, possibly 6 positions. Floyd and DeFeo again way wide through the corners. But still keeping it straight and keeping it off the wall. But they are definitely losing a lot of positions. Lots of track position early in the going of this one. You saw on the ticker, Skylar Taylor just took the race lead. But not for much, but really not for that long. Tatiana Nogueira already answering back and taking the top position right away. And taking it as if they never lost it. Meanwhile, side by side for the 9th position. Hernandez. Oh man, Damian Kyle Wood already up into the outside wall in 3. He goes way wide and looks like he's going to lose at least 3 positions. So definitely just fell. Thought it was just outside of the top 10, but definitely going to fall back at least 2 spots. Currently, you see Derek Hamill and Mitchell O'Brien took those positions away. Meanwhile, Simpson and Hernandez have swapped positions. Now Hernandez is on the inside, Jeremiah Simpson on the outside. And it looks like the 31 of Edson Hernandez is going to take back the 9th position from the inside line. And this is another, and as I was saying about currently what we're seeing, right out of the gate, we already saw some drivers get some really good runs on corner exit from the outside line. That could potentially be one of the grooves that the drivers could use to try to get themselves a good fire off the corner, and then try to capitalize on taking positions. But currently, what we're seeing here with this fight with Hernandez and Simpson, the inside line is starting to come to life here. So we're starting to see a pretty good mix of drivers trying to get an advantage on one another, and so far that not being the case. We're already going 3 wide here. This is going to be for the 10th position. Hernandez is just barely going to get clear of the 20 of Simpson. And now Mitchell O'Brien, Hernandez's teammate, is on the attack. Oh, but you saw Mitchell O'Brien get really, really loose through 1 and 2. Had to check up a little bit, and that just caused the car to fishtail, and he's going to lose that opportunity to take over the 10th spot from the 20 of Simpson. And this will allow Derek Hamill to close in and try to take 11th away from Mitchell O'Brien. Damian Kyle Wood also waiting in the wings. You see further in the back, there's Nia Steidel in the 41. Fighting with the 43 of Sammy Cars. This would be for the 14th position. Heading back into turn number 1, coming around to complete 18 of the scheduled 150 laps here at the Nashville Super Speedway. Tatiana Nogueira has led all but, from my knowledge, 1 lap. And Nogueira, actually not Nogueira, but focusing in on this battle, you see Nia Steidel still trying to get around the 43 of Sammy Cars, and now try to get 2 birds with 1 stone, as now she is in a position to fight around with the 38 of Damian Kyle Wood, now the 47 of Derek Hamill, 3 birds with 1 rock, and she's going to easily take 3 positions and move up to, well, now the 12th position, because O'Brien is pretty much checked out. Steidel and now the 47 of Derek Hamill currently fighting it out for track position. That is for the 12th spot, as Hamill pulled up around the outside, heading off of turn number 2 that last lap. Now going to try to use the outside line to his advantage to try to pull up alongside once again, but that inside line on corner entry just oh so strong there for Steidl. She's going to get clear of all traffic and ride away with the 12th position and try to chase down the 3 of Mitchell O'Brien for 11th. Meanwhile, focusing back up at the front of the field, pretty much top 10 all the way back to the 11th, pretty much all the way back to now the 12 of Nia Steidl, or the 12th position of Nia Steidl in the 41, all single file until you get back here with not Jeremiah Simpson, excuse me, with Sammy Cars and also Derek Hamill fighting it out for position. And Hamill's going to take the 13th position away pretty easily going through turns 3 and 4. One car going to pit road. That's Ryan Durrani. Remember, he was one of the cars that we saw go into the outside wall heading through turn at number 3. That ended up causing that really wasn't one of the causes of the wreck with Tyler Belladonna, Colin Block, and Alex Savatali, but you can definitely see this is probably an unscheduled stop for the 14 of Ryan Durrani, so he's unfortunately going to fall down a lap, and that's definitely going to hurt his chances of winning this race, but still pretty early in the going, so if we get a caution, there's a pretty decent chance he could find himself back on the lead lap, but see here, I don't think he's going to be the only driver one lap down. There's Dale Johnson, the second in the 27. He's currently shown one lap down. And now Ryan Durrani is going to join him in that category. There's runner-up in the point standings, Tyler Belladonna in the number 4. Currently our only 2-time winner in the McDonald's Cup Series. He wound up winning at Phoenix back in February, and then just 3 weeks ago at Pocono, pretty much dominated the sucker, and went on to break the streak of 11 different winners. Of how many different winners we could have at 11. That's what I meant to say, but you still get the gist of it. Belladonna, she's currently being shown in the 30th position, as you probably just caught a glimpse of just a few seconds ago. So right now, things not looking too good for Tyler Belladonna if he wants to progress his way through the point standings. Another car coming down pit road, that's Chad Gronkowski in the 36, along with Bob Floyd. Again, these are cars that got into the outside wall through turns 3 and 4 towards the beginning of the race, so they're just currently trying to come in and get their sets of 4 fresh Goodyears. But it definitely could be a pretty interesting strategy at that, because you could be splitting the fuel window, or at least the pit stop window, in half. At least this section of the green flag run, you're splitting that in half and trying to get an advantage on everybody. So that could be what's happening, but I wouldn't want to get ahead of myself, even though my brain has tried to do that so many times, because I'm just thinking a million miles an hour and I can't even get a coherent thought together. But right now, you can see everybody's gotten single file. Everybody's gone into a single file formation. 29 laps in. And right now, we're looking pretty clean and green. Race leader actually is coming into pit road. So I think the pit window was at least probably 30 to probably about 34 laps. But then again, all these drivers are running pretty hard on the racetrack, so that doesn't seem too surprising to me. Skylar Taylor has just now taken over the top position, and I believe Taylor's going to come down pit road. It looks like that's going to be the case. Here comes the 48 of Terry Walker in, followed by Jeremiah Simpson, Nia Steidl, BB Haynes, Derek Hamill, Travis Crampton in the 22, Murray, Palmer, Adams, Cologne, DeFeo, Savatali is in. So the pit strategy is pretty interestingly split up. Pretty I wouldn't say, I'd say pretty diversely. I'm not 100% sure if that's the correct word, but again, my brain's just not working. But the rest of the crowd, of course, is coming on down pit road. Belladonna and Josh Lee both stay out. So this is going to give the lead to Tyler Belladonna, at least for this lap, but he is going to have to come into pit road, and that would complete the round of green flag pit stops. So from the looks of things, green flag pit stops are probably going to be every 30 to 33 laps. So this race is, so these drivers are definitely having to come in every fifth of the way through the event. But speaking of, we are 1/5 of the way through this race, and it looks like the top position is going to go back to the number 21 of Tatiana Nogueira here. But it's pretty interesting of how this race is going so far. Caution free. I thought we were going to have a yellow flag with Alex Savatali going around, but to Savatali's misfortune, nobody was really around at the back of the field. Nobody else was really around towards the further back of the field when his situation happened. So unfortunately for Savatali, he is still stuck way in the back, and one of the drivers that actually was having himself a pretty good hot streak for a good while and having himself really good consistent performances for the first 12 races, and also a win back at Martinsville. Definitely not something that Alex Savatali's been wanting to see, but race lead does indeed go back to the 21 of Tatiana Nogueira. And then running in the second position, that would be Skylar Taylor. Ryan Durrani now being shown in the third spot after hitting the outside wall and making his pit stop. He is now third, with Terry Walker being shown in fourth, Michael Young fifth, Jeremiah Simpson in sixth, Chad Gronkowski seventh. Running in the eighth position is Val Moscow. Then ninth is Nia Seidel, completing the top 10. That is the now 32 of Alex Rampus. Oh, a minute, I have a phlegm buildup. Battle for fifth is on. See Michael Young already getting a run around the outside line. And I'm also kind of noticing that as the tires start to wear, that's when the inside line really starts to come into play. So right out of the gate, especially with 4 fresh Goodyears, the outside is definitely the way to go. Because, of course, I think that's just where the runs are going during the short run. But as we get more into a long run, that's when the inside starts to come into play. So, of course, right now, a lot of these drivers, they're definitely taking advantage of that outside line while they still can, until that inside groove comes back into play once these tires start to wear off a little bit more. Top 2 have pretty much checked out. Skylar Taylor still trying to get the race lead away from Tatiana Nogueira, but no success at it. Already had peeked the nose down to the 21's inside for a good while. Just did it again right there, but not gonna quite be too successful there, but still gonna stay glued to the back bumper of this 21 of Nogueira. Gonna try to make a move to the inside. Gotta run. They're side by side down the back straightaway. Heading back into turn number 3. Taylor giving it his all. And it looks like Skylar Taylor's gonna lead this lap right at the line. And that is indeed going to be the case. New race leader at the stripe is Skylar Taylor, but Taylor gets a little bit loose going through 1, and just that strong run through turns 1 and 2 there for Tatiana Nogueira. They're going to take the race lead right back and make it look easy. But that was definitely not a good look there for Skylar Taylor. Not the taking the race lead part, but going through turns 1 and 2, you saw the car just kind of fishtail through the corners. That just did not look good whatsoever, and unfortunately, that had caused Taylor to get out of the gas and check up and try to keep the car in one piece and not lose the back end and hit the outside wall. So as of right now, Skylar Taylor playing it smart, staying in that second position, staying in the wake of the 21, and not letting Tatiana Nogueira get away. Currently 3-horse fight was going to be for the third position, but currently Terry Walker has that. Durrani had fallen back 3 positions, all the way back into 6th place. Meanwhile, we look further back. There's the 95, BB Haynes, 22, Travis Crampton. Crampton is another one of those drivers that I talked about towards the beginning of the show, that he really needed a good run because he was pretty decently deep in the point standings, probably in the low 30s. And currently being shown in the now 11th position once we cross the stripe this time by. Successfully took that 11th spot away from the 95 of BB Haynes. Now trying to get inside of the top 10, but banging doors with the 88 of Val Moscow going through the front straightaway. And moved himself, and he's already moved inside of the top 10. This is pretty intense over here. We're going to have to watch this. Moscow in the middle, with Travis Crampton on the bottom, and then Chad Gronkowski up top. Gronkowski way wide through the corner. He's definitely going to have to back out of that one. Hernandez also in the midst of a 3-wide situation that has quickly dispersed itself. And Moscow moves up into 9th. Crampton stays inside of the top 10. Hernandez having to back out, and he's going to fall back to the 11th position. Possibly, well, definitely going to fall back to 12th spot is what I meant to say. 45 laps complete here in the Ally 400 at the Nashville Super Speedway, the McDonald's Cup Series first trip. And thus far, the racing is not disappointing. BB Haynes down to the inside of the 22 of Travis Crampton, at least trying to get down there. We also have Ryan Durrani and Alex Rampus fighting for the 7th position. Steidl has taken off with the 6th spot. And you see Rampus dead even heading into turn 1. Moscow is basically right there to take advantage. BB Haynes, Travis Crampton still fighting hard for the 10th spot with Edson Hernandez in the wake of the 22. Durrani's going to lose even more positions here as he just got shuffled way out of the groove. It looks like he's going to fall back to probably outside of the top 10. Indeed, that is the case, falling back to 12th, possibly 13th. And Crampton is going to take back the 9th spot from the 95 of BB Haynes. But Haynes has also successfully gotten inside of the top 10, so I'd consider that a win for the 95 team. BB Haynes, who got his season off to a fantastic start by winning a crown jewel race, the Daytona 500, to start off the 2024 McDonald's Cup Series season. It was performing pretty consistently and pretty well until he lost the points lead at Bristol, but Haynes has still been doing a nice job kind of hanging around the top 10. Hasn't really fallen outside of the top 10 running order in the points, but still running pretty consistently enough to hang around the top 10. And doing a very nice job. Currently, as of right now, race-wise, shown in the 10th position. Meanwhile, looks like everybody's calmed down just a little bit. Not so fast. Here comes Alex Rampus in the 32 underneath of Val Moscow, our Las Vegas winner. Unfortunately, not able to get the pass started because he did not have that good of a run going through turns 3 and 4 to make the car stick on the bottom. 50 down, 100 to go, but it'll be 51 laps complete with 99 laps to go when they cross the stripe this time by. Tatiana Noguera still continuing to lead the charge and continuing to put on a dominating performance, trying to get their second win of the season and join Tyler Belladonna as currently the only 2 multi-time winners of the 2024 season. Ramp is still trying to get that 7th spot away from the 88 of Val Moscow, but just unsuccessful at trying to start the pass. So far, top 5 are all pretty much singled out. Running pretty consistently. Let's take a look further back in the field. There you see Avon Murray in the 30. Up inside of the top 15. Zachary Fitzwater in the 9 definitely went really wide through the corners. Here comes Wyatt Walker in the 99. Wyatt Walker is another driver who's starting to kind of turn his season around in a very consistent and quiet manner. Finally showing up inside of the top 10. And so far doing a very nice job. Shown 18th right now. And he's probably going to lose the 19th, maybe even the 20th position here once they cross the stripe this time by. But right now, Wyatt has definitely been doing a very nice job and trying to quietly move up inside of the top 10. He's actually been doing pretty good. Very consistent. And thus far, things have been looking really good for the 99 team of Wyatt Walker. But meanwhile, he has been able to retain the 18th position from Mitchell O'Brien, who started, I wouldn't say started on the pole actually, but he did not start on the pole. I'm used to seeing this 3 car towards the front of the field at the start of every race, but that's just when I'm making the graphics. But thus far, O'Brien has unfortunately lost the 19th position to the 11 of Kyler Sustrai, and possibly might fall into the clutches of the 24 of Stephen Cologne in just maybe a few laps time if he's able to put together a good enough corner exit to try to pull up to the number 3 and pull up alongside. Meanwhile, let's take a look back here. 3 wide battle ensuing with the 98 of Colin Block, the 2 of Will Parrish just threading the needle, and also the 23 of Matthew Hubert. Nathan Stapleton also getting involved in this 42 machine. This season has just obviously not been looking good for Nathan Stapleton whatsoever. He had a few good runs here and there. The best run that I can really think of that he had that sticks out to me was Kansas, where he ended up finishing inside of the top 5. But that was definitely his best finish of the season, but he just has not really been faring too well at all throughout the course of the year. Currently, as I remember, he is currently not dead last, but second to last in the point standings. Regardless of where he's at, he is very, very low in the point standings, and this is definitely not something that Stapleton was really hopeful for at all. As second round for green flag pit stops is just getting started. I believe Tatiana Noguera, yep, there they are on pit road. So round 2 of green flag pit stops is just now getting started. Chad Gronkowski, we saw a little bit ago, he's already made his way back out on track. And we're about to see some more cars come on down pit road. Jeremiah Simpson is coming down. And it looks like the 30 of Avon Murray is going to be joining him. 55, Daniel Adams is also in. And we're about to probably see the 15 of Skylar Taylor possibly break off and come on down to pit road. Yep, there it is. That is indeed the case. Second and third, Terry Walker and Michael Young. Both of those drivers are coming down. Steidl is now in, along with BB Hange and Edson Hernandez and Palmer and Felber and Hamill and Cologne and DeFeo and Alex Savatali, excuse me. Savatali is in. Nonetheless, Alex Rampus is now assumed the race lead, but he's also going to come on down to pit road here right about now. And he'll bring Val Moscow and Travis Crampton with him. Sustry and Mitchell O'Brien are also coming in. So a good chunk of the rest of the field is coming in. So Fitzy's going to assume the lead for now, with Wyatt Walker being shown in second. Josh Lee and Tyler Belladonna, they are also third and fourth. And once these four drivers come in, that will complete our second round of green flag pit stops. Fitzy and Walker are in, but Josh Lee is actually going to stay out. So Lee's going to take over the top position. But once he pits, that's going to give the race lead back to the 21 of Tatiana Noguera. Therefore completing round 2 of green flag pit stops. Trying to see if Josh Lee did end up coming down pit road. Yes, indeed. That is 100% the case. So the top position should indeed go back to the 21 of Tatiana Noguera. And we're definitely gonna we're just gonna have ourselves a new look to the top 10 here once we get everybody across the stripe. Currently race leader is now back to Tatiana Noguera, then Josh Lee, who was in second. He's gonna definitely fall back a good few positions here. But it looks like shown in second will be the number 20 of Jeremiah Simpson. Then third would be Skylar Taylor. I'm trying to look for the 34. There he is. Josh Lee now finally merging back up on track. So Simpson would be second. Skylar Taylor would be third. Then fourth would be the 14 of Ryan Durrani. Terry Walker would complete the top 5. Then Chad Gronkowski, 6th. Then 7th, Nia Steidl. Then 8th, Dale Johnson, the 2nd. 9th, the 18 of Michael Young. And the 31 of Edson Hernandez will complete the top 10. How about this for Dale Johnson? Actually, no. Dale Johnson's coming to pit road. Never mind. So then Michael Young would move up to 8th. Edson Hernandez, 9th. And then the 30 of Avon Murray actually would complete the top 10. Avon Murray actually is now finally coming up to the top 10 for the first time today. How about that? Avon Murray's another driver who, unfortunately, is somebody else who we haven't really talked a whole lot about this season. But currently, right now, here in Nashville, pit stops have definitely played into his favor. He's now inside of the top 10, chasing down our points leader, Edson Hernandez, doing a very nice job here in this race and getting himself a really good run. Gotta love it. Gotta absolutely love it. But Noguera, 100% is gone from second and third place. They're pretty much left to fight it out here, and if you know, you know. But to those that don't, there is a Sprint commercial that was filmed in real life between the IRL drivers of these two cars, Clint Boyer and Matt Kenseth, back just in 2013. If you haven't seen it yet, go back and watch it. Go back and watch it. Sprint commercial with Matt Kenseth and Clint Boyer. You might get a laugh out of it. But but I find it funny that these two cars are actually fighting it out side by side for the second position. It's better that they're doing it in actual race cars and not those little mobile carts that you see in a that you see anywhere else. In a nursing home. That's it. That's what I was thinking about. I couldn't it wasn't popping off in the top of my head, but it wasn't popping up in the top off the top of my head, but there it is. It's not like any other carts that you find in a nursing home. That's what I meant to say. But currently, Simpson and the 15 of Skylar Taylor, they're actually both reeling in the 21 of Tatiana Nogueira. So this might turn into a 3-horse fight for the race lead here very, very soon if all goes according to plan. Also seeing a notification on, I'm not even 100% sure, but anyways, focusing back in, just 2 laps away from the halfway mark. Once Nogueira crosses the stripe this time by, they've essentially caught, Simpson and Taylor have both essentially caught the 21. So this might turn into a 3-horse fight for first place. Terry Walker riding very comfortably in the 4th position. No traffic around him, so he's pretty much just on cruise control unless if somebody else pulls up to him. But the closest that anybody is currently to the 48 of Terry Walker is indeed the 14 of Ryan Durrani, but he's a little over 3 seconds back from the 48 of Terry Walker as of right now. But you can see Durrani's having to deal with a hornet's nest. You got Nia Steidel in the 41. That's Durrani's teammate. Currently sitting in the 6th position, already all over the back bumper of this number 14, trying to go for the 5th position. Steidel trying to knock on the door of the top 5 and currently pulling up alongside and making it look easy, and is definitely going to take away that 5th position coming down the front straightaway. So Steidel making it look easy as of right now. But Gronkowski, you see Michael Young fighting it out. This is for the 7th position, just past the halfway mark here in the Ally 400. So 75 down, 75 to go. Currently, it'll be 76 down, 74 to go as of right now. And the 20 and the 15, especially the 20 of Jeremiah Simpson, they have caught the 21 of Tatiana Nogueira. So we focus back in on this battle for the 6th position. Durrani has it. Michael Young is going to want it, and he is going to make it look easy and take over the 6th position. 3 wide here. Points leader Hernandez in the 31, trying to wrestle that 7th position away from both Gronkowski and Durrani. But Gronkowski is actually going to prevail out of that because Durrani was trying to get out of a 3 wide situation. And Edson Hernandez also got loose going through 1 and 2, already up into the outside wall. That is Avon Murray. So he is going to lose probably at least 3 positions. And he did. He falls all the way back to 13th, but still hanging on to this group that is fighting actually pretty mildly hard for position. You see Travis Crampton trying to get by the 32 of Alex Rampus, excuse me. So this would be for the 11th position, and it looks like Crampton's gonna just barely keep that spot right across the line. But Rampus gets a very great run going through turn 1. He went from the top. He got around Crampton from the top. He slices down to the bottom and takes the 10th spot away from Ryan Durrani. 2 birds with 1 stone. Now going for 3 birds with 1 rock, and he gets it. So move the 32 of Alex Rampus up to 9th for the moment, but not so fast. Our Daytona 500 winner is answering back around the outside, edging ahead of the 32. But Crampton's also going to make it 3 wide. So Travis Crampton already making moves right out of the gate, 3 abreast across the front straightaway. But I don't think it's going to stick, though, for Crampton. Yeah, Crampton had to get out of it. So did BB Haynes. Both of those drivers had to get out of it. So give that 9th spot back to the 32 of Alex Rampus. And this is going to allow Avon Murray to capitalize on some more track position from the number 22 of Crampton. You see Durrani already coming down pit road. He was amongst the first that ended up pitting pretty early, so definitely hinting at the start of another round of green flag stops. But Avon Murray tried to get the 11th spot away from Crampton, just was unsuccessful, so he's going to fall back in line. But it's pretty interesting to me. Currently, we have only seen one challenge on screen for the race lead. That was Skylar Taylor a little bit earlier on in the event. He was able to take the top spot for probably at least a lap and then just lost it going through 1 and 2. Just didn't have enough grip to make the car stick on the bottom, had to get out of the gas, and now we're seeing another attempt at trying to go for the race lead. Here's Jeremiah Simpson trying to take it. Unfortunately, just ran into a similar problem that Taylor had earlier in the event. Got really loose going through 1 and 2 and just was not able to make the car stick. And so far, that is the exact same case going through 3 and 4. Skylar Taylor is going to take that second position back and now going to try to set his sights on the 21 of Tatiana Noguera. With 85 laps complete and 65 laps to go here in the Ally 400 here at the Nashville Super Speedway. If you're just tuning in, towards the beginning of the race, we had one incident that did not bring out a caution flag. That was with Alex Savatali going around on the front straightaway after getting clipped by the 98 of Colin Block. But we have been clean and green ever since. We've seen some pretty good racing throughout the pack. For example, over here with BB Haynes in the 95, getting contested by the 22 of Crampton, but Crampton's going to fall back in line. You see Sebastian Palmer and Avon Murray fighting it out. This is going to be for the 12th position, excuse me. And it looks like Palmer's going to get that across the stripe. This is our Coca-Cola 600 winner, Sebastian Palmer, trying to go for a position. But this is definitely what has been happening for those that are just tuning into the event. Whether if you're watching this on Twitch or over on YouTube when this premieres the next day. And round 3 of Green Flag Pit Stops is just now getting started with the 36 of Chad Gronkowski coming in. He is amongst the first, the actual first to do it was the 14 of Ryan Durrani. He peeled off pretty early, so he is going to have to, of course, he will be back up towards the front of the field here very soon. But race leader Tatiana Noguera coming on down to pit road once again. We still have yet to see some other cars come on down as well. This is a really big pack right over here. Just fighting it out for as much position as you could possibly get. PJ Vidal already right up against the wall. But thankfully, it didn't really sustain any really sort of damage whatsoever. But so far, things have been looking pretty good. I mean, as far as the racing product, we've only seen one incident, and fortunately, it didn't bring out a caution. But it was at the misfortune of the 26 of Alex Avatali. Saw Jeremiah Simpson coming on down to pit road. Was trying to follow him, but I couldn't get to him. I had him for like a split second, and then I didn't. There he is. Taking 4 fresh good years, and he is down and away. So some drivers, this is actually kind of interesting. Some drivers right out of the gate, they're actually not coming into pit road right away. Some of them are actually starting to stretch it out a little bit to try to make sure that they are going to be good to go the rest of the way on their tank of gas. So it's going to be interesting to see how the finish of this one is going to unfold here at the Nashville Super Speedway. Derek Hamill, Michael DeFeo, you see them getting their pit service done. So they're going to be down and away. Steidel is also going to be coming in. Then Cologne and Adams and Young and Taylor and Walker and Ava Murray is already getting his service done. And pretty much now the rest of the crowd is starting to make their way down into the pit area. Val Mosco coming in along with Roberto Crown Jr., Rogel Dorn, our Kansas winner. Bringing Mitchell O'Brien, Vidal, John Andrews, Will Parrish, Colin Block, Stapleton, Hubert, and also the 38 of Damian Kyle Wood. He's also in. Zachary Fitzwater is going to assume the race lead as Tyler Belladonna, Wyatt Walker, Casey Wells, Matt Jones, all those cars, they come on down to pit road. So once Zachary Fitzwater and also the 34 of Josh Lee make their stops, round 3 of green flag this green flag pit cycle will be completed. And wait just a minute, not so fast. I believe we have ourselves a brand new race leader in the form of Jeremiah Simpson. A fantastic stop from the number 20 machine. And he is now going to be out front here in the Ally 400 of the Nashville Super Speedway. That is very interesting. That is going to be indeed the case. Zachary Fitzwater still being shown as the leader, but he is getting his pit cycles already done in a way. And he'll be rejoining the track here very, very shortly. But Jeremiah Simpson goes to the point. We'll have a look at your official top 10 once everybody gets across the stripe. So it'll be Simpson the leader. Tatiana Noguera now falls back into the second position. Then third will be the 15. Third will be the 15 of Skylar Taylor. Then fourth, Terry Walker. Durrani will complete the top 5. Then it will be Chad Gronkowski 6th. Nia Steidel 7th. Michael Young 8th. Bob Floyd showing up inside of the top 10 for the first time today. He's 9th. And Sebastian Palmer is going to complete the top 10. Remember, we are in the midst of our summer shootout. This is our third of 5 races that we'll be running in the summer shootout. Remember, the points that you get for leading a lap, leading the most laps, and winning the races, those bonus points are doubled. So it would be 5 bonus points for leading a lap, 10 for leading the most laps, and 20 bonus points for winning the race. Noguera, of course, looks like they're going to get at least 15 bonus points. Remember, 5 for leading a lap and 10 for leading the most laps. So those additional bonus points are going to be pretty clinched up. As Simpson has also collected those 5 bonus points as well for leading a lap. So this is definitely pretty interesting. Battle for second is on. Skylar Taylor is going to take it away. And Terry Walker is going to try to follow. Noguera way wide through the corners. And they're going to lose the third position So Nogueira's going to fall back to 4th. Taylor to 2nd. Walker to 3rd. Chad Gronkowski, you also saw on your ticker on the top right of your screen, he is also taking the 5th position away from the 14 of Ryan Durrani. Heading back down into turn 1. We're just past 100 laps complete. It'll be 101 down and 49 laps to go here in the Ally 400 of the Nashville Super Speedway. Pretty amazing to me of how we have been caution-free throughout this race. And we've only had one close call when it comes down to yellows, even though Alex Savatali did go for a spin down the front straightaway after being clipped by the 98 of Colin Block. But it happened when everybody was at the tail end of the field, so that's actually pretty amazing to me of how we're still green flag racing. But checking back in was Alex Savatali. Savatali's actually had himself a pretty good rebound throughout the event. Already up into the 23rd spot. May not be exactly where he wants to be, but he's definitely bounced back pretty good, if I may say. Hold on 1 minute. All right, my apologies. I had a phlegm build up and then I stepped on the cord to my microphone, so it had unplugged it. But you saw the battle for a position between Alex Rampus, Bob Floyd, BB Haynes, Edson Hernandez. Saw Rampus get the advantage on Bob Floyd, so now the 32 is now back inside of the top 10. Now BB Haynes and Bob Floyd now fighting it out for the 11th position. Floyd doing a pretty good job around the outside. Heading back into turn number 3. And it looks like BB Haynes is going to get the advantage coming off the corner. And will take the 11th spot away. Officially take the 11th spot back. Now battle for 12th is on. Edson Hernandez. Now down to the inside of the 10 of Floyd. So hit the back straight away. Back into turn number 3. And Floyd's going to just make it look absolutely easy. So some of the drivers who ended up pitting a little bit earlier before everybody else, the effects are really starting to show. Because some drivers even take, for example, Ryan Durrani. He was amongst the first to come down pit road. He was the earliest to come down to pit road and give 4 fresh Goodyears amongst everybody else the last 3 to 4 green flag pit cycles. And he's able to get that track position, but trying to hold it is a little bit of a different story. Because he was 5th, I think 5th or 6th, the last time we went through the top 10. And he's already fallen back to the 8th position. Might fall back to 9th here if Sebastian Palmer is able to get around him. He's going to try it, though. Down to the inside. Again, just making it look absolutely easy. Those 4 fresh tires really starting to pay some pretty good dividends for Palmer. And now he moves up to 8th. See, that's the pros of pitting early. You do get yourself some good track position. However, the cons are you're the earliest to come down pit road. So that means once green flag pit cycles would get completed, your tires are definitely not going to be up to par with everyone else's because you've already run laps on that set of tires. So you're going to be put at a pretty significant disadvantage when it comes to holding track position. He's already fallen back to 10th now. Rampus easily just got by the 14. And he might just get knocked out of the top 10 as you see BB Haynes start to pull up. And this is exactly going to be the case here across the stripe. Durrani's able to hang on. Oh, wait a minute, not so fast. Durrani was able to hold on for a second, but not going to be quite the case here as they hit the back straightaway. Heading back into turn 3. And it looks like the 95 of BB Haynes is going to pretty easily take back the 10th position. One car already in the wall. That's Bob Floyd. And he goes around. Around in front of the field. That's going to bring out a caution. So our first yellow is going to fly on lap 113. That took a while. Oh my goodness gracious. Floyd gets into the wall. He comes off the wall but bounces off of another car and he ends up going around in the process. First yellow flag of the day flies with almost 35 laps to go. Pits do indeed open up. And Simpson is going to bring down pretty much everybody onto pit road. And amazingly enough, we only have one car that is currently a lap down. That is indeed Dale Johnson in the 27. But looks like everybody's going to get a set of 4 fresh Goodyear tires, and they're going to get him sent back out. So this is definitely going to be pretty interesting as to how the rest of this race is going to unfold once we go back under green. See what the race down pit road, off of pit road, is going to look like. And oh, look at this. This is interesting. Skylar Taylor. Actually, wait a minute. Terry Walker actually comes out with the lead off of pit road. Then coming out second. Hold on a minute. See if this is actually the case. No, Skylar Taylor actually came out of the pits first. So he'll be shown as the leader. Then second will be the 48 of Terry Walker. Then Michael Young will be came out third. Then fourth, the 32 of Rampus. Then fifth, the 36 of Gronkowski. Seventh, the 95. Jeremiah Simpson's got damage. I also saw the 36 of Chad Gronkowski have some passenger side damage, but you saw on the bottom of your screen there for just a second. But Jeremiah Simpson's got a problem. He's got a buckle on the hood. He is done. Smoking out of the hood and smoking out of the... He's done. He's just done. That is a heartbreaker for Jeremiah Simpson. He was performing really well in this race. He was driving like the rent was due. And unfortunately, it's not going to pay off. Something had to have happened to the 20 machine. We're definitely going to go back and look at it here very soon. But BB Haynes came out 7th. Nysteidl will be 8th. Then Sebastian Palmer 9th. Edson Hernandez will complete the top 10. We're going to go back and take a look at what happened that caused our first caution of the day here at the Nashville Super Speedway. On top of that, we'll also look at what happened to the number 20 of Jeremiah Simpson and see what happened to him that caused that damage. It probably was due to a stack up. It probably was because of the stack up. If I do have to need gas. Let's go back in. Take a look at this. And a lot of this had to do with, as we zoomed off a little bit before turns 3 and 4, this was definitely the reason why, because a lot of drivers were going really high through turns 3 and 4. You see even Murray pretty much push the 10 of Floyd up into the outside wall. Lots of drivers just going really hot into the corner through 3 and 4, and looks like Floyd is going to come off the wall. He'll bounce off for the 11 of Kyler Sustry, and that's what's going to send him around. Stephen Colon just almost got caught up in the wake of the 10 of Floyd, but thankfully he is able to just miss the GoDaddy Chevy. And lucky that nobody else was collected in this little mess, but that's what brought out our first caution. Let's go back and now look at this in real time. See, Murray ends up pushing the 10 of Floyd into the wall. And I think even Sustry came up and hit the 10 of Floyd, just absolutely doored him, and that's what probably caused Floyd to lose control and just end up going around. But thankfully, Floyd is able to continue on, but only at what cost? All that track position that he ended up working for is going to be lost. So now back to live action here, the Nashville Super Speedway. See, Floyd is all the way back here. Now it's shown in the 40th position. Actually, wait, hold on. I was also going to see what happened to the 20. To the 20 machine of Jeremiah Simpson. Let's go back and see what happened before we do anything else. Oh, whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Whoops. Whoops, whoops, whoops. I did not mean to do that. So we're going to actually follow along with him once he comes out of the pits. So this is while he's making his pit stop. So far, everything is good. He takes 4 tires, just as everyone else is doing. Gets topped off on fuel. So pretty much, as I was also going to say, with this pit stop, they are pretty much going to be good to go for the rest of the way. Oh, right here. Right there. Just gets absolutely... Vidal is also trying to get into his pit box. And then he just got pushed right into the 14, the back end of the 80, right back into the 88 of Val Moscow, who is also getting his pit service done. And that was what said game over for the 20 of Floyd. That is very unfortunate, to say the least. So now we're officially back to live action. And I believe we might get one to go this time by, though. Let's go ahead and find out. Yes, that is indeed the case. And we're getting set to go back under the green flag on lap 118. Only one car, one lap down. That is the 27 of Dale Johnson. You saw him top of your screen. He's going to be rejoining he's going to be joining Skylar Taylor up front for this restart. Remember, lap cars lined up on the inside line. And lead lap cars are on the outside. So top 10 running order, just to review as we get ready to go back under the green flag. Skylar Taylor, the race leader. Terry Walker in second. Michael Young third. Then fourth is the 32 of Alex Rampus. Then fifth, the 36 of Chad Gronkowski. BB Haynes shown in sixth. Then seventh is the 21 of the 41 of Nia Seidel, excuse me. 83, Sebastian Palmer is eighth. Edson Hernandez ninth, and Ryan Durrani completes the top 10. Race leader, former pole sitter Tatiana Noguera, shown all the way back in the 14th position. Didn't fall too far back, but unfortunately just outside of the top 10 for this restart. They'll restart on lap 118. Let's see how the rest of this race goes. Green flag back in the air. And everybody getting pretty wide here on this restart. Everybody got really jostled up, and they're already going for it. Terry Walker to the inside of the 15 of Skylar Taylor, going to try to take this race lead away. He's got the nose edged ahead, heading back into turn number 3. Remember, Dale Johnson is up front, so he's going to try to get himself back on the lead lap and hope and pray that another caution does come out. Then he'd be back towards the tail end of the field on the lead lap, as Terry Walker ends up taking the race lead. Here comes Alex Rampus in the 32, trying to wrestle second away. He couldn't get the job done. He's going to fall back. This will allow Michael Young to pull up and try to make a pass for the third position. Everybody going really aggressive here on this restart. There's closing in on 30 laps of racing to go here in the Ally 400, so all these drivers are going to go for what they can get here before everybody starts to spread out. Steidel tried to get a position on Chad Gronkowski, unfortunately was not able to make the pass work. But this is going to be pretty interesting, to say the least. Meanwhile, back up front, challenge for the lead is on. Here comes Skylar Taylor in the 15, back underneath of the 48 of Terry Walker as they head back into turn 1. Terry trying to make the run on the outside work. He's going to just make it work. So Walker's going to retain the race lead. Taylor will still be shown in second. Young and Rampus still fighting it out for third. Rampus has it. Michael Young is going to want it. Heading back around the outside. And Rampus is just going to get clear of the 18. He's just going to do it. So Young is just going to have to fall back in line and try again here as they go through 3 and 4. There he goes. He's going to try it, but gets really loose. That's going to open up the door for BB Haynes to drive to the inside. Heading down the front straightaway, being trailed by Chad Gronkowski, who's going to make it 3 wide for the 6th position. Well, Seidel also got really loose to the corner and almost hit the 36 of Chad Gronkowski. She had to get out of it, and here comes Ryan Durrani down low. Durrani did pit with everybody, so now he's on the same pit cycle as everyone else is, so he's not going to be falling out of the top 10 and then eventually coming down pit road as the first driver to come down pit road for the next 25-ish laps, because pretty much I think at this point, as I mentioned, everybody should be good to go the rest of the way. But we'll see. We'll see. We've seen stranger things. Stranger things have happened here at NR 2003. It's just going to be pretty interesting to watch, though. Steidel and Durrani still continuing to fight it out. Steidel's is gonna take the 7th spot away, but not for much longer. That outside line really starting to prevail on corner exit. Gronkowski and Durrani managed to get away from the 41. Avon Murray up into the outside wall. And he doesn't come back down on the 11 of Kyler Sustry, thank goodness, but that is going to stack the drivers up for just a little bit here. We're going to have to watch this. Oh, Skylar Sustry all over the back of the 30 of Murray. That could have looked way worse Heading through 1 and 2, thankfully, Sustry did not hang on the left rear quarter panel of the 30 of Avon Murray, and it didn't cause a big wreck. So we're in the green for right now. Everybody's still racing pretty hard. Everybody's still fighting it out for track position as much as they possibly can. Rogel Dorn, our Kansas winner, trying to go for another position. This time, it's going to be the 20th spot on the 11 of Sustry. But so far, those efforts are not too successful. Everybody's starting to file out, single file, focusing back up towards the front of the field. Remember, Dale Johnson is on the tail end of the lead lap right now. He's just hoping and praying for another caution to fly, so that way he can rejoin the field at the tail end on the lead lap. But right now, it is Terry Walker who leads the charge with 22 laps of racing to go here at the Nashville Super Speedway. Skylar Taylor continuing to trail the number 48 of Walker, heading back into turn 3. Now they're trying to, oh boy, here we go. I don't think that might have been the wisest choice on the part of Terry Walker to try to get by that lap traffic, because then that opens the door for Skylar Taylor to drive low. But he got loose right there. You just saw it right there. He got loose going through the corner, so he had to back off, and he's going to lose a ton of ground. And that will open the door for Rampus and BB Hange to try to make a move for position. So now Rampus moves to second. Battle for third is on between Skylar Taylor and BB Hange. Hange gets into the corner pretty hard, but still hanging right with the 15 of Skylar Taylor with 20 laps to go here in the Ally 400. Hange still doing everything he can to just try to stay with this number 15, but I think at this point, Hange is just going to have to fall back and live to fight another day. Keep that 4th position and just hope and pray that Skylar Taylor makes another mistake. So right now, just 2/3 of a second ahead of the 32 of Rampus is the 48 of Terry Walker. Remember, Terry ended up getting himself a really good start to the season. Unfortunately, as we progressed, things looked pretty grim for Terry Walker. But slowly but surely, he ended up starting to turn his season around, and if he can stay right where he is well on his way to not only his first McDonald's Cup Series win, but definitely what could be a possible turnaround for Terry Walker this season, and could move himself further up in the point standings. This is definitely gonna be pretty fun to watch here as we get down to it. 15 to go in just a couple laps time, but it'll be 16 to go this time by, as now Terry is just 2/3 of a second ahead of the 32 of Alex Rampus. Right now, Terry's, I think at this point, Terry might just possibly tease trying to get by the 27 of Dale Johnson, but I don't think he should really prioritize that. Just stay in the wake of the 27 while you still have the race lead, and just try to check out, and maybe just try to check out. But unless if you're really trying to check out, maybe try go by the 27. I'm not 100% sure, but no matter what, just don't do anything that's going to jeopardize that's not only going to jeopardize your race lead, but more importantly, jeopardize the win. I think that's what Terry is trying to do. Try not to jeopardize his race win. That is exactly what's happening with 15 to go, coming to 14 to go this time by. I think the more that Terry tries to do this, tries to get by the 27 of Johnson through 3 and 4, that's just allowing the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th to all close up to this number 48. The gap is now down to almost a little over a half a second. $13 to go. Now it's just under a half a second between Walker and Rampus. Heading back through turns 3 and 4. It'll be 12 to go this time by. Terry just doing everything he can to hold on and hope and pray that he can just come back across the line as the race winner. Once we get to lap 150, once that checkered flag waves, in just 12 laps time, 11 and a half to go this time around. The 32 and the 15, though, are not too far back. Just a little over a third of a second is the gap. And possibly pit stops could be looming on the horizon, so these drivers are definitely having to keep that at the very back of their minds, because I may have said that they could be good to go the rest of the way, but we've seen a lot of stranger things here in the world of NR 2003. So it's definitely going to be very interesting to see how these next 10 laps are going to go. 10 to go here at the Nashville Super Speedway. A third of a second. Now between the 48 and the 32. Still continuing to be trailed by the 15 to Skylar Taylor, the 95 BB Hange, and also Michael Young in the number 18. Just watching in the background and waiting to see if anything happens to the front four. Almost a quarter of a second now between the 48 and the 32. But as long as the gap stays as the way that it is, and not only that, as long as they don't get any closer to the point where Rampus could try to make a pass for the win, this race is Terry Walker's. Now down to 0.2 of a second between the 48 and the 32. I'm still just keeping track of this pretty much. It's now turned into a 4-horse fight for the race win. Son Wyatt Walker currently being shown in the 30th position. This is definitely going to hinder his run inside of the top 10. He's definitely going to fall outside of the top 10 of the point standings after today. Just remember, after today's race, it'll be 10 races left in the McDonald's Cup Series season. Again, this is the furthest that we've ever gone in the McDonald's Cup Series. We usually go maybe about 4 or 5 races in, and then eventually the season would just completely shut down because I get burnt out from recording. But doing these live and spacing them out throughout the year has definitely been just such a major help, and it's made all the difference. And we've seen some really good action that we could have been seeing in all these other McDonald's Cup Series seasons. But 10 races to go after today, and the championship is just getting a little bit more interesting as time goes on. Hold up a minute. 5 to go coming around this time by. Pit stops are taking place. Oh my goodness. Some drivers are having to take 4 tires. 4 tires and fuel. Terry Walker stays out. BB Hange also stays out. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens. Walker is in along with Dale Johnson. BB Hange also comes in. Roberto Crown Jr. with Stephen Colon. They all come down. Casey Wells comes in. Ryan Durrani stays out with 4 laps to go. Walker still holds on to the top position. And wait just a minute. I believe the race lead is going to go to the 32 of Alex Rampus. I think it's going to go to Rampus. Terry had some trouble on his pit stop, and he just got relegated incredibly far back in the running order with 3 laps to go coming up this time. I'm not sure yet. We're just going to have to wait and see. Actually, wait, hold on. Hold on a minute. I stand corrected. So he did actually hold on. He did. Man, that reaction that I had was a little premature, but Terry Walker, who I thought was going to be relegated very deep in the field, actually turns out had himself a really good pit stop. He is out front, over a second ahead of BB Haynes with 2 laps to go. And Alex Rampus, who was in second, he is 4 seconds back. In third place, BB Haynes in second, but they come through turns 3 and 4. White flag is going to be flying for the 48 of Terry Walker. White flag, 1 more lap. I thought after this round of green flag stops, I thought Terry Walker was out of it. I thought Alex Rampus was going to have it. But boy, I was proven wrong. Through turns 3 and 4 for the final time, Terry Walker had been looking for his first win of the year, and he's finally going to get it. Terry Walker is going to win the Ally 400 here at Nashville. Finishing in the second position is the 95 of BB Haynes. Rampus third. Skylar Taylor comes across the stripe fourth. Ryan Durrani will finish fifth. Then the sixth position, Michael Young. Then seventh, Roberto Crown Jr. Stephen Colon eighth. Edson Hernandez will finish ninth. And Chad Gronkowski will complete your top 10 finishing order. What a race here at the Nashville Super Speedway. Some really good racing all the way around, and at the end of it all, after pit stops, and I thought that he was down and out, Terry Walker proved me wrong and comes back and takes the checkered flag and wins the Ally 400 at the Nashville Super Speedway. Take a look at your rest of your running order from 11th on down to 28th. There's Casey Wells getting herself another good finishing position in the 11th spot. May not have been a top 10, but still good enough to probably keep herself and stay inside of the top 10 in the point standings. So you got Nia Steidles, Alex Savatali, great rebound from what happened at the beginning of the race for him. He will finish in the 13th position. Then Derek Hamill, Daniel Adams, another good run for him. This could help him a little bit. Travis Crampton, this might help him too. Maybe just not by much, but just a little bit. Then Bryce Egan, Colin Block, John Felber, Tyler Belladonna, Rogel Dorn, Josh Lee. And then we have the number 13 PJ Vidal, Nathan Stapleton. Pretty decent run for him. May not help him too much, but just a little bit is better than nothing. Then Parrish, then Fitzy, DeFeo, Cars, Matt Jones. There's Kyler Sustride. Wyatt Walker finished 31st. Not the run that he was looking for to back up the pretty decent run that he was having a little bit earlier in the event. John Andrews, I think, might take a hit in the point standings, so he might not be third leaving today here at Nashville. DK Wood, Mitchell O'Brien, Bob Floyd, Sebastian Palmer, Bosco, Hubert, Noguera, who started on pole for this race, did really, really well, and pretty much dominating the good stage of the event. Led pretty much the first half, over half the race, I should say, but unfortunately was not able to close the deal and go to victory lane here today. They'll finish 39th with Avon Murray. Dale Johnson, the only car that finished 1 lap down. And our only retiree from the event, Jeremiah Simpson, who went out of the race after his little spiel and back during the caution period. After those yellow flag pit stops, that set him back and out of the race due to a clutch problem. But what a day here at the Nashville Super Speedway. It's Terry Walker going to victory lane for the first time in his McDonald's Cup career and the first time this season. So this will definitely catapult him up in the point standings by a pretty good margin. We could potentially see him inside of the top 15, maybe top 10 in the point standings. Maybe a little bit of a stretch when it comes to top 10, but we're just going to have to wait and see. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to keep an eye on the Discord. Those points will be coming out a little bit after this premiere concludes. If you're watching this on Twitch, thank you so much for watching and being here. Be sure to hit that follow button so you do not miss a future stream. If you're watching this on YouTube, the link to my Twitch is down in the description. But if you are also at the same time, if you are indeed watching this on YouTube, be sure to also not only follow my Twitch, but also be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe so that way you don't miss any future content that comes out on the channel. So you don't miss any fine content coming out in the near future. That's what I meant to say. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the race. One more time, congratulations to Terry Walker on nabbing his first win of the season and finally getting the job done. So take care, everybody. Have yourselves a great rest of your day. Stay hyped, and I will see you all on the next one.